The secret behind watermelon's white skin. Not just waste, but a surprising mini laboratory. Scene 1. Opening. Have you ever, on a hot summer day, cut open a watermelon? Your eyes immediately fall on the bright red, juicy, sweet flesh. And then, what do you do with the thick white part that's left? Just throw it in the trash, right? Today, I challenge you to look at that waste in a completely different way. Because what we're about to uncover today, inside our microscope lab, will make you think twice before throwing away the watermelon rind. We'll journey from the outer green rind to the hidden depths of its cells, uncovering the strange, colorful mysteries beneath the lens. And whether it's okay to eat this stuff, and what it's doing to our bodies. Keep your eyes and ears ready, because this micro journey begins right now. Scene 2. The mystery of skin thickness, the function of a life shield. Why then is the watermelon rind so thick? The white part we often throw away has a cool name, albedo. Imagine this albedo as a helmet and a natural refrigerator for the watermelon. First, it functions as a mechanical shield. Imagine if the rind were thin like a grape. Once it falls from the vine, it will immediately shatter. This thickness of albedo functions as a shock absorber. It absorbs pressure when harvested, thrown around in a transport truck until it reaches your kitchen table. Second, it functions as a biological fortress. There are insects that want to bore holes, fungi that want to rot, and bacteria that lurk. Albedo, which is rich in tough fibers and certain chemical compounds, becomes an impenetrable defense wall so that the fruit flesh remains sterile and fresh. And third, the coolest function is as a humidity regulator. You must know that watermelon is 92% water. That much water is not only stored in the red flesh, but also in the albedo tissue. The cells in albedo act like giant sponges. They store emergency water reserves. When the weather is very hot, albedo will release this water reserve into the flesh of the fruit so that the watermelon does not wrinkle. Scene 3. Why light green? Color graduates in the photosynthesis factory. If you cut a watermelon rind, it's dark green on the outside, then fades to light green, and finally pale white near the red flesh. Why isn't the color solid? The answer lies in the tiny factories inside the cells called chloroplasts, where the green pigment or chlorophyll resides. Where does the sun's rays hit the strongest? Of course, on the outermost surface of the rind. That's where the chlorophyll factories work hardest to capture the sun's energy. That's why the outer layer is filled with dense chlorophyll, making it dark green. Now, as we go deeper into the albedo, the sunlight begins to weaken, blocked by the outer layer. Because only a trace of light enters, the chlorophyll factories inside become lazy to work. They don't produce as much chlorophyll as on the surface. As a result, the color changes to light green. Then as we get closer to the center, light can't penetrate at all. Chlorophyll is almost non-existent, making it white. Scene 4. A party of color under the microscope, silver, black, and a mysterious shine. You see, the current view has colors like jet black and light brown spots. This is purely an optical phenomenon. The silver color and shiny effect are due to the spaces between cells. Albedo cells are shaped like small, clear, water-filled balloons stacked on top of each other. So why is there black? The black is the air cavity. Remember, the cells aren't tightly packed? Well, those gaps are often filled with air. What about light brown? This could be due to two things. First, a natural pigment called xanthine, which gives some plants a yellowish or brownish tinge. Second, an oxidation reaction. When you cut the skin, the cells are injured. The chemicals inside come into contact with air, much like an apple turning brown after being peeled. Scene 5. Zoom deeper. Peek into the world of clear jelly. What looks like a very clear and large jelly, or jelly like you see right now, that's a parenchyma cell. Notice its shape. It's like a giant water balloon with very thin and flexible walls. Why does it look like clear jelly? Because almost 90% of the volume of this cell is filled by a large object called a vacuole. Inside it contains cell sap that is rich in water, a little sugar, and minerals. This clear cell network is what makes the watermelon rind feel crunchy and juicy when bitten. although not as sweet as the flesh of the fruit. Scene 6. Transparent green. Traces of an abandoned factory. You find a large size. Still looks like jelly, but there is a tinge of transparent green. What is this? This is what is called chlorenchyma. Small green granules floating in the clear liquid? That is chloroplast, in the albedo part near the surface. The sunlight is still strong enough to stimulate the production of these chloroplasts, but not strong enough to make them work as hard as in the outer skin. As a result, we see a very beautiful effect, transparent green. Scene 7. Is it okay to eat? Here's the horrible and healthy answer. So, is this white skin okay to eat? The short answer is absolutely okay. In fact, you should eat it. This albedo part is not only safe, but also nutrient-dense. In fact, the levels of an amino acid called citrulline in this white skin are 60% higher than in red meat. Citrulline is a magical substance that helps improve blood circulation, dilates blood vessels, and is great for heart health and muscle recovery after exercise. Your digestion will be clean and smooth, not to mention the content of vitamin C, vitamin B6, zinc, magnesium, and potassium. But wait, there's an important warning. Because it's so high in fiber, never eat large amounts at once, especially if your stomach is not used to it. The side effects: serious bloating and gas. Scene 8. Closing moral message from a skin. So think about it. That piece of white rind that we take for granted every day, that we throw in the trash every day, is actually a masterpiece of biological engineering. Today's lesson isn't just about watermelon. The lesson is, never underestimate anything just because it looks ordinary, or because it's not the main part. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue dissecting the secrets of a universe, from the largest to those hidden under the microscope. See you in the next micro-investigation. Enjoy your watermelon, everyone. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video until the end.